So now that we know what an algebraic expression is, let's look at how we can evaluate an expression with a given value of the variable. So what all that means is that we are going to substitute the variable with a number so that we can solve it. Evaluate means to solve. So when you see directions that say evaluate each expression with the given values of y, that means that we have an expression that has a variable, in this case y, remember it can be any letter you want it to be, and we're going to be given a number that we can replace y for, because remember we know variables represent a number. So, for example, here's the expression y plus 10. And we learned that what that means is that we're adding 10 to some number. So what this chart is giving you is they're telling you that in this column, we're going to let y be equal to 3. Now, y can be equal to anything, as we're going to see in just a minute in the next column, but they're telling us that y equals 3. So we're going to evaluate this expression for y equals 3. And that's a fancy way of saying that we're going to take this expression and instead of y, we're going to substitute in the number 3. So here the expression is y plus 10. If I'm going to let y equal 3, then instead of y, I would write a 3. So now I have 3 plus 10, and that equals 13. Now, remember, we can let the variable equal any number we want to. That's where the word variable comes from, because it means that the number can vary. It can change depending on what we want it to be. So here, I'm going to let y equal 7, and let's see if we get something different. So instead of y plus 10, instead of the y, I'm going to substitute in 7. So that gives me 7 plus 10. That equals 17. So again, you could choose any number you wanted to substitute in for y. It could be a fraction, it could be a decimal, it could be a whole number, a negative number, anything you want it to be. In this case, we're using 3 and 7, but it could be any number you'd want it to be. Okay, so let's look at this one. This time we have 20 minus a number. So if they tell us that that number is 3, so here we are in this column, we're going to say 20 minus 3. So instead of the y, we're going to write a 3, because y equals 3, and that equals 17. Over here, this time y equals 7. So let's evaluate the expression if y is 7. So that would be 20 minus 7, which is 13. Okay, so we now know that 4y means 4 times y. Because remember, if you don't have anything in between the number and the variable, that means multiply. So this means 4 times a number. So they're telling us here again that y equals 3. So I'm going to substitute in 3 for here. And that's going to give me 4 times 3 equals 12. And if y equals 7, then that means 4 times 7 equals 28. Now, be really careful. It's easy to want to say, okay, this is 4y. So if I change the y and put a 3, that'll give me 43. Or if I change the y to a 7, that gives me 47. But just remember that this means 4 times y. So it's not 43 or 47, it means 4 times 3, or in this case, 4 times 7.